All right, guys, I wanted to talk to you about a tool that I recently discovered, and I think it's a game changer for a lot of people. If you're like me, you can really, this thing will really come in handy. Now, what I'm doing in this room is I'm updating some of these outlets and light switches. You can see that's a white outlet there. These were previously beige, and I've been going around trying to update this stuff, okay? And I'm now at a point where I've got to do this wall controller for the ceiling fan. You can see how ugly and old that is. But that's what made me think I should just show this tool, because uh, whenever you change this stuff, you have to find the breaker, right? You're turning off the breaker so that you can work in these outlets and these electrical boxes with no power. So to find that breaker is always a challenge unless you built your own house and you've got everything laid out. You really don't know, and it's kind of a process of elimination. You're flipping breakers, trying to find the correct one. You're turning off things that you don't want to, sometimes computers, clocks that blink when you're done. I mean, the whole process is just a pain. So this tool is a way to eliminate all of that frustration. So if you have a need like me, it's something you put in your toolbox, and every time you use it, you'll just thank yourself for just, getting this tool once. Buy it once, use it forever. All right, let me show it to you. All right, so here's the kit. It's Klein Tools ET310, okay? And just briefly how it works, you're going to plug this into an outlet, then you're going to go to your breaker panel and you're going to scan up and down with this on the breakers, and it's going to start to beep when it finds the proper breaker. At that point, you just turn the breaker off. The lights will go off here. That'll confirm there's no power, and that's it. You didn't have to mess around and flip lots of breakers. You found it. It's as simple as that. So that's pretty cool. Now, if you're going to do like a light switch, you're not going to have an outlet, and you'd think, well, how do I do a light switch? Well, it's pretty easy, because a light switch controls a light. So you basically just screw this into your light fixture and you put your dongle into that, okay? And they give you an adapter, because if you have a 2-wire house, this requires a 3-wire connection, but they give you the adapter so it'll work on a 2-wire. In the last part of the kit, they give you this. This is kind of cool, because say you have you have an electrical box, you open it up, you're not sure where it goes to, it might be a breakout box, something like that. You can actually just attach these alligator clips onto the 2 conductors, plug your dongle in, and you can find the breaker for that. So they pretty much give you everything you need. So this kit's $50 on Amazon. And I had to actually think twice, do I really want to spend 50 bucks when I've been able to do this for years without a kit like this? But if you really think about it, I've had a lot of frustration trying to find breakers, and this house in particular, this has 1 main panel and 2 sub panels with breakers, actually 3 sub panels because there's a pool panel. So there are a lot of breakers, and I've even thrown the main breaker to the entire house, cut power to the house, just to avoid having to go up and down the stairs a million times when I'm alone and I can't, I don't have any assistance to find the breaker. So you guys know what I'm talking about if you've done this in the past. I'll tell you what, just spend the 50 bucks. I wish I had done this years ago. This thing makes it so much easier. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Let's get back to replacing this fan switch. All right, so in the case of the ceiling fan control, I have to find the power to that. Obviously, there's no way to plug anything in here. I could take those alligator clips and I could put it on the hot and neutral in this box, and I could use it that way. But it's so much easier to just remove one of these light bulbs and put that socket in there, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I have to do is actually kind of assemble this. So these 3 pieces all go together, and then I can screw it into the light bulb socket. All right, so it's as easy as this. All right, so let's go to our wall controller. We'll put on the light. And you can see this lights up a few different color lights, but for the light, for this light switch, we're not checking ground. That dongle, if you plug it into like an outlet, it'll tell you whether the ground's properly grounded, and it'll also have information through the different color lights, whether there might be a miswiring in the box. That all comes in the kit. You know, there's instructions that tell you what all those color codes are. But for a light switch, it's just lighting up whatever those colors are, and I'm not interested in what that is. Now I'm going to go to the panels, and I'm going to try to find that breaker. Okay, so we got the 200 amp main panel here, and we're not fully populated because we have sub panels in the house, but let me turn this on. We do have some breakers we want to check, so let's see. Turn this on. We're looking for a steady tone with a red light. All right, so to me, that would probably be the breaker. But here's the thing. This is labeled as sub panel. It's a 100 amp breaker. This doesn't go to the ceiling fan. This goes to another sub panel, and the ceiling fan breaker is in that sub panel. So I could turn this off, but then I'm going to cut power to an entire 100 amp panel that's going to turn a bunch of things off. So I know better than to do that. But what it does tell me is it's in one of the other sub panels. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one and check it. All right, sorry for the poor lighting here, but it's hard to get into this area. Let's check these now, okay? Okay, that gives you kind of a blink, but it doesn't stay steady. So, and you're going to find that it's not super clear cut all the time. But that didn't stay steady, and it didn't stay on red, so I am not going to use that breaker. And it also says pool, so we kind of know that that's not it. All right, we're at our next sub panel here. Let's check these. Oh, that looks like the winner right there. Yep, it's this breaker. Okay, so just for kicks, let's look on here. And that says sunroom. The ceiling fan is in the sunroom. But if you're like me, a lot of times these labels don't match, or the wiring carries into other rooms. You just can't capture it all. So anyway, that was nice and easy. Let's go up and check the ceiling light. All right, so you can see the power is off. And let's just check the fan. I'm going to turn the fan on, and the fan is off. Alright, so let's open up this box, and we'll just kind of go through a couple good practices as you go around and change out outlets and light switches. Alright, so let's take this cover plate off. And this room's probably been painted a couple times over the years, so this plate's gonna be stuck. Oh wow, look at that. I guess these screws retain the control into the box and the plate, which is a little different than a typical light switch. Alright, so we're assuming power is off, right? But you always want to double check. So let me go get a tool here. Alright, this is a handy tool to have. I've had this for years. It's really been helpful. It's a proximity voltage tester. So basically, you just hold the sensor close to wires. It'll tell you if anything's hot. So it prevents you from having to open up connections, putting a meter on things. It's a handy tool that saves time. So basically, turn it on. You're just going to touch it against these wires, and you can see if it was, if anything was live, it would be red and it would be beeping. So we've got no voltage at this box, and I can touch these wires without worrying. Okay, I'll be replacing the switch with this. This has a switch and speed control for the fan, and a switch and dimmer control for the light. So let's unpackage this. Okay, after looking at the instructions, basically you've got hot going to this screw terminal, and the red conductor goes to your light, yellow to your fan. Alright, so let's look at the box, the existing wiring. Alright, so the existing box, we've got black, which I'm assuming is hot. Now, I didn't install this, so I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming black is the hot, red is the light, yellow is the fan. That's the way I'm going to hook it up. This is all on the hot side. There's no neutral to this, so that it's not like I have to worry about doing any damage or tripping breakers. If I'm wrong, I may have to swap leads. That's it. So let's go do that now. Okay, I've got everything connected. I haven't connected ground yet, but before I do that, I want to just test the switch before I keep going further. So let me put the breaker on and we'll come back. Okay, so the breaker is on, and you can see the light is dimming. And the fan is on. I can change speed. Yep, so all set. So now I'm going to turn the breaker off and button up the box. Alright, we're back with the breaker off, but for safety, I'm checking there is no power. If you flip the wrong breaker by mistake, that could happen, but there is no power. So now I'm going to button this up, hook the ground up, and then secure it into the box. Okay, this is more like a conventional switch where you have to fasten the switch first and then put the cover plate that screws onto the switch. Okay, so now we just have this finished plate that goes on here. Okay, we're all done with the ceiling fan switch, and hopefully there's some content in this video that'll help you guys on your future DIY projects. Good luck.